If your marketing hasn't worked, chances are you're trying to reach everybody. And even though this sounds like a wise marketing idea, it really isn't. It means you're reaching nobody. And today, I want to help you fix that. Who do you really want walking through your door? Who do you really want to be your customer? Let's face it, you've had those customers that stink. They're miserable to deal with, you don't like them, and like your stomach turns every time they call or show up. You don't want that customer. But you do have some customers that you love. When you see their name on caller ID, you're quick to pick up the phone. When you see them walking through the door, you are happy to help them in any way you can. This is more the customer that you're after. And you can build your business on only ideal customers. Believe it or not, it's possible. Let's get you the ideal customer. The customer you want to work with, the customer who actually is happy to spend money with you. Let's talk about the method to figure out who this ideal customer is. The method is pretty simple. It's called the name them, describe them, picture them method. You can probably guess where we're going, but stick with me through the end of this because there's a lot of great information that is really going to help you. Before I get into explaining the method and how it works and how it's going to help you find your ideal customer and make great money, this is video 1, episode 1 of a series of No More Wasted Ad Money. So make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on these videos. The next video is really going to dive deep into getting the most from your money. So you're not going to want to miss these. All right, let's dive into this video. The name them, describe them, picture them method. First, you need to refine the ideal customer. If you try to speak to everyone, nobody hears you. It's kind of like you're in a bar and you're trying to talk to people, but the bar is loud, everybody's busy, and nobody really hears what you're saying. Or maybe you're in a crowd. Let's say you're at a concert and you're just trying to yell at the crowd your message. Again, nobody hears you. Pretty much everybody ignores you as a crazy person. But when you focus in, all of a sudden, your ideal customer really hears you, and other people on the outside start to listen in. So when you get really focused and really niched, all of a sudden that idea of reaching everybody actually starts to work. But what you're really trying to do is reach somebody. But I know it seems different than what you expect. You want to talk to everybody, but nobody hears you. But when you talk to just somebody, they all hear you. It's really strange how this works, but it really does, and it really works well. So first, you need to get very specific about who you are trying to reach. You really actually want to make a picture of them or go online and find a picture of this ideal customer. Give this ideal customer a name. So anytime you're working on any kind of strategy or marketing or anything you do, you can talk about this ideal person. Let's just pretend for right now this person is Susan. So when I'm working on ad pieces, I would actually ask, will Susan respond to this ad? Does this address Susan's need? When I'm in meetings, I refer to our ideal customer then as Susan. How is Susan going to respond? What do we need to do for Susan? What is it that concerns Susan? By doing this, you really get in the habit of putting that ideal customer in your mind and understanding who they are and making sure you're communicating directly to Susan or your ideal customer. When you work on refining who this person is, you want to describe as many details as possible about this person. Clearly, you want their age and gender, but you also want to know their family. Do they have kids? Do they not have kids? What are their income? What's their hobbies? Take 5 minutes right now. Go ahead, pause this video, and take 5 minutes. Write down your ideal customer's name, their age, where they live, what they drive, what keeps them up at night. Then ask yourself this question. Does your marketing actually speak to this person? You're going to see you're probably not speaking directly to this person. You're speaking too broadly around this person. Take those 5 minutes right now. Draw out every detail you can about who the ideal customer is. And think about this for a second. Sometimes your ideal customer isn't directly who you think it is. So be clear about who this ideal customer is that you're really trying to market to. Think baby products. This is a great example of your ideal customer may not be exactly who you think it is. In baby products, typically you would think that an expecting mother or a new mother is your ideal customer. Truthfully, in baby products, grandma is the ideal customer. Why is grandma the ideal customer? One, grandma has lots of money. Grandma's not afraid to spend the money. Grandma's not afraid to shower that grandchild and the expecting mother with the gifts that they need to support this new child. And the grandmother has a lot of influence in the new mother's decision making. So grandma may actually be the ideal customer, even though the expecting mother is the producer of the need for baby products. So think through that. Who is the actual ideal customer you have? Most products are not like baby products. There's a more direct ideal customer. Now, thinking through this, I had a customer who did paintless dent repair, pulling like door dings out of cars and hail damage out of cars. And he was telling me, everybody is his customer. Everybody comes in the door. Now, although he wasn't wrong, everybody comes in the door, I really pushed in on this because he was convinced everybody was his customer. We started talking through the customers he likes working with, the customers who come in the most, the customers who are happiest with his services, the customers he likes to work with, and the customers who spend the most money with him. And it really turned out there was a very specific group of customers who were his ideal customer. And it really reshaped his mind. And then he was able to adjust his ads to speak to that ideal customer. And he started getting more and more of these ideal customers. And it really blew up his business because these ideal customers loved to share about his business. They loved to spend money with him because he provided the solution they wanted. They were happy with his services. He enjoyed working with them. It really transformed his business. He quickly learned, although everybody could come to his business, his ideal customer, his perfect customer, the person he needed to speak to was actually very specific. Take those 5 minutes now, pause this video, figure out who your ideal customer is, write down all the details you can about this person, and then find a picture that represents this customer and give them a name. I'll see you back here in 5 minutes. All right, welcome back. Now, what you've discovered is your ideal customer probably isn't who you were communicating to. And you found that your vague targeting really did equal very poor results. And well, you're tired of wasting your time and money in getting poor results or bad customers. When doing any marketing, you want to make sure that it communicates very clearly to your specific avatar. Now, you may say you're excluding people and you're going to alienate people. Great, do it because it works. You don't need to speak to everybody, and I can't drive this point home enough. Speak to somebody specific. They will hear you very clearly, and others will start to listen in. When you speak to everyone, nobody hears you. Nobody hears you at all, and you're just wasting your time, your money, your breath. Make sure you use marketing to target where your customers are. Ask yourself, where are they and what are they doing? This is the next step in making marketing and advertising that works for you. Quite often, we tend to go the avenue that we feel is good or that we think is good, or really more areas that we like. But that doesn't work. Where is the ideal customer? Where are they? Where are they hanging out? Where are they spending their money? What is it that they're focused on? What is it that keeps them up at night? You need to know these things. And in the world of social media, there are literally hundreds of social media platforms. Really, there's about 5 big ones that you hear about all the time. Your customer is not really on all of them, and your customer will not respond the same way on each one of them. So even in social media, you'll want to pick the 1 or 2 platforms where your customer really spends their time and they are open to hearing your message. There are some social media platforms that your customer may go on to and just waste time scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And anything you say there will just be a scroll by. It won't be a chance to interact and grow a relationship with that customer. So that's not where you want to be. Even though they may be on the platform, their mindset on that platform is not one to do business with you. So you want to be on the platform where they are, yes, but the platform where they're going to take that minute, that moment of time to hear your message, to see you, to learn more about you, and to want to become your customer. Next, ask, where are they? So we discussed where are they on social media, but where are they other than that? Are they at the pool? Are they at the gym? Are they at the school helping their kids? Where is it that they are? Where do they live? Are they a suburban neighborhood, an urban neighborhood? Which side of the tracks do they live on? You need to answer these questions so that you know more about them and you know where to go to reach them. What do they like doing? Do they like spending time with their family? Do they like fast cars? Do they like going to the movies? These are all important because you'll start to know where to place your efforts to reach them. What are their needs? Now be careful with this one, because I can tell you what their needs are and what they want are two very different things. So first, you do need to know what are their needs. What do they actually need? But now think about this. What do you provide that they actually want? Their wants and their needs are different, but it's important to know both. Let's talk in the terms of an HVAC contractor, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, an air conditioning guy or a heating guy. What they really need all the time is air filters and maybe annual maintenance on their air conditioning system. What do they want? Neither one of those. So if you're constantly advertising regular maintenance, you're just wah, because they don't want it. They don't care. Until you build a relationship with them, it's hard to just sell them something they don't want. Once you build that relationship and become trusted, sure, they'll buy that from you, but not before. Air filters, they're a pain in the butt. Nobody likes changing air filters. I don't know why, because it's not that hard to do, but even myself, I can't stand changing air filters. I don't want it. So what is it that the HVAC contractor offers that I want? Well, first off, maybe I'm not their ideal customer. So they need to figure out who their ideal customer is and what they want. Typically, they want a comfortable house, a quiet retreat from everyday life. How can you provide this solution and speak to this solution? That's something you need to know. What do they want? Stop advertising what they need and start talking to their wants. When you can talk to their wants, they start to listen to you. You can build that relationship. You can provide for their wants and discuss with them what their needs actually are. And sometimes we can use wording when we know what their need is that will appeal to their want. Let's take the HVAC maintenance approach for a minute. I want a cool home, a calm home, a retreat from everyday life. Maintenance could provide that because my HVAC system won't break down if it's properly maintained. So how can I communicate this, providing for that want while giving them what their actual need is? Sometimes that's a little bit of work to figure it out, but you can do it. Sometimes I can provide for their want, let them know I can help them have that cool, comfortable home that's a retreat from everyday life. Give me a call. I don't need to tell them right away what the solution is. The solution is maintenance and air filters. Whatever that is, make sure that you're providing for their want. When my HVAC system breaks down, I want somebody who will show up and fix it. That's all I want. I just want it fixed, and I want it fixed as soon as you can be here. Believe it or not, you may think that I want it within like 5 minutes or yesterday I want it fixed. That's not always the case, because once I trust you, once your ads and your marketing speak correctly to me, I don't need it instantly. I'll give you that period of time that it's going to take for you to actually show up and do it properly. So you can also buy yourself time. Somebody who's never done business with you, yes, they're going to want it right now because you haven't built the right advertising. You haven't built the right marketing. You haven't really established any relationship. So even in that ad, you can start to build that relationship where when they see your ad and respond to it, they don't need it right this second. They need it done, and they need it done right. And you can communicate that in the way that you speak. So after you describe what their needs are and what their wants are, You also want to go over what it is that makes you stand out from all of your competitors. And you'll want to do this in a way that really identifies with your customer, or that your customer identifies with. Saying I'm the best, well, they all say they're the best. Everybody says they're the best. What can you do to show your customer that you are the best, that they'll understand? Maybe to a mom with messy kids and a busy house, being neat and clean in what you're doing matters. To a busy person, saying you'll actually show up on time and solve the problem right, maybe that matters. So you have to think through what separates you in a way that matters to your ideal customer. Many times we talk about all the things that we're great at, so much better than our customer, but it doesn't resonate with our ideal customer. So make sure what you say resonates. Now, it may be the same thing. Maybe you are the best, but you need to communicate it in a way that your ideal customer hears you. Next, we need to build trust first. We typically want to go right into that sales pitch. Sell, sell, sell. Make that money. Build trust first. And this doesn't necessarily need to be hard or long. You cannot sell to someone who does not trust you. If you do, that's where negative reviews come from. That's where buyer's remorse comes from. Build trust first, and you'll have a much better experience. And if you build trust first, the average sale price, the average ticket price is higher. Instead of buying just what they absolutely need at that exact moment for the cheapest price, they'll buy some of your suggested services, some of the things that are going to better their experience in the long run. So we need to find solutions to our customers' problems. We need to understand what they're thinking their problem is and provide those solutions. This is part of building trust. Customers are looking to solve their problems. They're not looking to buy something. Customers are looking to make their life easier. They're not looking to just spend money. Customers are looking to make their life more comfortable. What do I want that will solve my problem, make my life easier, and make my life more comfortable? When you start talking to me about these things, when I have a need for you, I'm going to start to trust you because you're speaking my language, my wants, my needs, my concerns as a customer. Provide trust in all of your marketing, not just selling. So some of these trust building things is not just a buy now, here's a discount, get it today only. Maybe the trust is, I'll show up on time. I'll treat you like family. Call me today and let's discuss your needs. Completely different approach, but it actually works, and it works really, really well. Provide more free information than anyone else. Believe it or not, when you provide free information, people don't just steal your information and do it themselves. No, they actually trust you. Going back to the HVAC thing, maybe you can talk about how you would clear drain lines. Guess what? The customer doesn't actually want to do it, but they'll hire you to do it now because you explained it. You provided all the information. When you're in their home, explain how their system works, what's broken, what the replacement process is. You can explain so much stuff. You can explain it in their language that they're receiving tons of free information, and they feel confident in the decision they're making to pay you to do this work. Free information is very, very valuable. It makes you show that you're trustworthy. When you're trying to keep it all a secret and not tell them, they sense everything's a secret and they think you're keeping it a secret because you're lying and you're not trustworthy. Open up the information. Let them know everything. Let them know all the details. Let them know how they can keep, like in the HVAC world, we're just going to stay on that track for a minute, but this works in all industries. But like in the HVAC world, explain how their system works. Explain how they can do basic maintenance to it to keep it running longer. Maybe they need to clean certain parts. Maybe they need to change those filters a little more often. Maybe there's some things that they can do without calling you, and that will build trust. Truth is, they know these things need to be done now, and because you explained it for free, most likely they'll probably hire you to do them anyway. Hey, that basic cleaning you talked about, it needs to be done now. Can you come and do that for me? I'll gladly pay you for it. And then when you're there, you can inspect their system and see some other things that they may be looking at in the future. Let them know, hey, while I was working on your system, I noticed these couple things. So just be aware, down the road, you may need to replace these parts or do these things. It was no hard sale, But guess what? They'll probably just call you to do it or tell you on that spot right there, hey, why don't you just take care of them if you've got time today? That way we don't have to worry about it in the future. Your ticket price just went up and you kind of didn't even try and sell anything. It's pretty amazing how this works. So solving problems is greater than just making a sale. And you want to educate before you pitch. Let them know the system. Let them know the process. Inform them of the details and how things work and what they can do. And then when you tell them that you have a solution for them and what it costs, they're much more happy to buy from you. You're not selling anymore. You've educated them and now you've offered them a solution with a price and they're more willing to buy. This completely changes the entire sales approach. Next, you want to be very clear with the language you use. Use the right language. In our fields, we are experts and we understand things in a very expert level. We need to first communicate using language and words the customer understands. Not the gigawatt transformer or Veritas something. No, there's this device in there. It's called a transformer, and what it does is it helps start the motor. And this particular device has failed. We know that because we were able to put test equipment on it that measures the results of how it works. And by doing that, we know that this piece failed and will need to be replaced. That's customer language. And you want to keep it a little bit short and sweet. You don't need to go into this whole long half-hour dialogue. Explain it in a way that they understand using language they understand. Avoid the technical jargon that you understand as a professional. Your customer is not a professional. That's why they called you. So you need to, as a professional, communicate to them in a way that they understand. Think doctors are notorious for this. They communicate in medical terms that nobody understands, and you're sitting there like, what'd they say? I don't know. Happens all the time. And most adults are unwilling to admit that they don't understand what you're saying. I don't know why this is, but they don't, myself included. I don't always like to admit I don't understand what you're saying. So communicate in a way that they understand and offer them the ability to ask questions. What questions may I answer for you? How can I help you understand this better? Give them that opportunity, that out. Like, hey, I understand you may not know all of this, so please ask me these questions so I can help you understand what I'm talking about. That is the way to go, because when a customer doesn't understand you, they don't trust you, and they're more likely to go to a competitor. Even if they paid you this time, they're probably not going to use you next time. Now, other words to avoid is we can't do that or no. You don't want to use these terms. Instead, offer alternatives. How about saying, in my experience, that doesn't tend to work very well, but we found that this alternative method works quite well. Instead of no, we can't do that, well, we've discovered that another option is really this. Or instead of no, you could phrase it something like, I don't really recommend that. I do recommend this though. So you offer more gentle ways of saying things. For some reason, those hard no's or can'ts, those words stick out. You can't and no. Well, a customer really wants a little bit more dialogue and a little bit more of an option here, not just a hard no or a I can't. The words you use, even when speaking to someone who is not a customer, matters. You want to be careful with the words you use all the time, because if you're constantly speaking in ways that people don't understand, you will do the same with your customer. So even with friends, even with buddies, even with neighbors or family, speak in ways that they understand. This is good practice, and it also puts you in the mindset of always trying to communicate on a level the person understands. Never, never, never talk badly about a customer. It will get out. Even within your office, even within your shop, you don't talk badly about a customer. It'll slip, it'll get out. Somebody will say, hey, you know what my boss said about this idiot customer the other day? And all of a sudden, you just speak badly about customers, and I don't want to do business with you because I don't want you speaking badly about me. Never talk badly about competition. You will be seen poorly if you do this. I know you're at, well, again, HVAC customer's house, you're at their house, you see that the previous contractor that they used did a bad job of working on their HVAC system. You could say, hey, such and such HVAC, they're pretty terrible at what they do. No. You could say, hey, I've noticed a couple things with your HVAC system that I would typically recommend we do different and will make your system work better and last longer. You didn't speak poorly about somebody else. Another way that you can essentially create that not everybody's a good potential business to work with is by saying things that you actually do. You start to cast doubt that the other people don't do that. Hey, we make sure we clean up when we're done. Well, nobody else said they did that, so I guess they don't. We actually measure the pressures and temperatures to make sure that we have your system fit correctly. Or I don't know, things like that. You can provide little things that you do that really everybody should be doing, but when you say you do it, you're casting doubt that the other people don't. It's just one of those things. Now, another thing that you don't want to do is swear. This really turns off a potential customer. Even if your customer is swearing like a sailor, you don't follow suit. Don't do it. It just doesn't work to your advantage. And even in your private life, practice not swearing because it will leak over into your professional life. The tone in your speech matters. So talk in a happy kind of way. Talk upbeat, not like Eeyore. Well, you really need a new thermostat today. Don't do it. Hey, you know what? We discovered that your thermostat is what's malfunctioning and why your HVAC system's not working. We can quick replace that for you and get you up and running in no time. Much happier, much better to do business with, and I'd rather buy from you when you speak in an upbeat way and in a positive way. Carefully select those words. It really matters. And then show empathy. We're going to use this HVAC thing one more time. So I know that your HVAC system broke today, and I know that's not what you really wanted to be dealing with today. It might not have even been in your budget. I fully understand. I do have a solution for you. Here's what we can do to get you up and running as quickly as possible. And here's what it costs to do it. Would you like to move forward with that? If you need help with the payment option, I do have a couple payment plans that might be able to help you out since I know this isn't exactly the expense that you were prepared for today. It's that simple. You showed some empathy. You showed some concern. Hey, I know you're hot and miserable. We can fix your problem. Just give me 5 minutes and we'll be on our way. Something like that. Show some empathy. Empathy matters to your customer. If you haven't done so already, take 5 minutes now to write down what your ideal customer's name is, what they look like, their age, all those demographics that we talked about, where they live, what they drive, what keeps them up at night. And then ask, is your marketing actually speaking to this customer? If you nail this step, your ads will actually start working and your sales will pick up. Don't miss the next video in the No More Wasted Money series. In this video, I am going to show you how to craft specific ads that convert to paying customers. I'll see you in the next video.